Hey, happy day, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Have you ever had your wings clipped? I'm going to wrap up in a blanket. I'm a little chilly today. Wings clipped. Why am I thinking about having your wings clipped? Well, because I shared it in my Supersize Your Business segment, but also because I've never really thought about it a whole lot before. I've experienced it. I've had my wings clipped. To have your wings clipped just means to lose privileges or to have control taken away from you. Definitely had both of those. In a lot of situations, right? Most recently, I have not given up my driving privileges, but I've given up my driving privileges. I haven't really had them taken away from me, officially, but I have. I am legally blind, and so I shouldn't drive, and I wouldn't drive, and I haven't driven for probably close to 2 years now. Just because over the decades, my vision has had challenges. And it's finally to the point where it's shutting down certain things that I used to just take for granted and do. One of those, the one that's I think personally impacted me the most, is the ability to drive. And it means drive myself. Doesn't mean I don't get around. It just means I don't drive myself. So I don't hop in the car and go where I want, when I want, with whomever I want. It's just kind of a slowing down process, which is certainly annoying for me personally, but you figure it out. You always figure it out. I also experienced that when I had my sudden cardiac arrest in 2010. For 6 months, you do lose your driver's license. The doctors basically take away your ability to drive, and they say, yeah, you're not driving for 6 months, and they notify the authorities, I believe. I don't know if they actually do or not, but I wasn't going to risk it. I wasn't going to drive. But I did beg every time I went to the doctor to drive because I missed it so much. It was really, really hard. But maybe it was the precursor for getting me warmed up for experiencing it again now. But it is, it's a challenge when something that we're used to being able to do is taken away from us. When we have a privilege, because driving is a privilege. I mean, no one has a right to drive. No one is owed the opportunity to drive. It is absolutely positively a privilege. And sometimes we forget that. We don't appreciate things until we lose them very, very often. So I'm thinking about lack of driving today, but I'm not really thinking about it. I don't think about it very much. I just figure out how to get around what I need to do to get things done. Again, we do what we can with what we've got right now. So, clipping your wings. Have you had your wings clipped in other ways? I was in a very, very controlling relationship, a marriage for like over 20 years. So I understand, and I don't know why we set ourselves up for those things, but often when our wings are clipped, we're part and party to that situation happening. When we lose control or have control and privileges taken away from us, usually part of it, we're partly responsible for that, right? I chose the person that I married. I chose to be in that relationship. I chose to stay in that relationship. I chose to allow another person to have say over what I did, what I said, how I behaved, how I acted, where I went, what I spent my money on. Which I'm looking back now, I'm like, oh my God, that's so ridiculous. But I think when we get in relationships, we do give up privileges. We do allow other people to clip our wings in terms of personal power and personal choice. And we do that for the sake of harmony and for relationships and our families and for everything else. I think that I've experienced a lot of wing clipping in different areas of myself, more so than other people, because I believe in planning and coaching and teaching people to perform in the way that you would like versus clipping their wings, and especially doing preemptive strikes. I think of clipping your wings as a preventative thing before, kind of a punishment before the crime versus make a punishment fit the crime, which is more my philosophy. Let somebody do something wrong and then coach them and train them or reprimand or punish them or whatever you want to call it. But you can't just assume somebody is going to do something wrong. Now, the reason they clipped wings back in ancient Rome was because people had pet birds and they didn't want them to fly away, so they would clip their wings and then they would stay. They would lose their privilege of flying. They would stay under control. But we can clip people's wings in different ways by withholding resources. In corporate America, that was one of the most popular ways to make sure that you followed the company line and toe the line, was by not funding different projects or saying no to adding resources or even actually taking away resources from your department. So if you were a department head that raised a lot of and ruffled a lot of feathers or caused a lot of upset, which I tended to be because I was in quality, and other departments didn't like anyone overseeing the way that they did things. So sometimes I would get my wings clipped by losing resources or not getting projects funded, new quality initiatives and things. So thinking about having my wings clipped and the wing clipping that I did over the decades, not too much. I did ground my kids. I did take away their driving privileges. I did, take away their cell phones sometimes because if they would, do things that they weren't supposed to. Not that they did very often. I've raised two pretty awesome human beings. So, what else is up? The 90-day challenge is over, and today I thought of my next challenge, and I'm not sure if it's going to be sales focused or customer focused, but it's going to be something that's promoting a customer relationship loyalty type app that I've gotten involved with that I really like, and I haven't been promoting any or doing anything with it, and I really need to hop on that bandwagon and get moving and doing something with it. So my next challenge will be probably a 5 or 10 day challenge about I haven't decided. I just thought of it this morning, but I haven't decided how many days. Maybe 7. I've never done a 7-day challenge. So 5, 7, or 10 day challenge about customers, how to get them, how to keep them, how to reward them for staying with you, all leading up to this app that people can use. And it's for business owners. It's not just for individuals. I mean, individuals don't need a loyalty program for people. I suppose influencers could have a loyalty program for people, sticking with them or to attract more people to them. But that in and of itself is a business. If you want to be an influencer, you want to make money, so then that becomes a business. You're your own brand. It's not just hey, I'm a person and I want to have a loyalty program. I want to make sure my friends and family are loyal to me. It's kind of funny. So working on that, still working on my big move. And yesterday, I just hung out with my 4-year-old granddaughter and did nothing with respect to the move. I guess I did some laundry, but that doesn't even hardly count, right? So I have a ton of things to do with respect to that project. And thinking about my new challenge and working with the people I've got. I've got a couple coaching students that are in need of some support and help. So I better get to them today. I'll get to them today. I talked to one yesterday. I'll get to the other one today. So what are you working on? What projects have you got? What examples of having your wings clipped or clipping people's wings can you share? And is there anything I can help you with? If so, go ahead and hit me up, send me a message. Otherwise, I will, of course, be with you tomorrow.